Moving on to item number 18. Discussion?
I have a few comments. Do I need to wait for someone to make the motion in a second?
No,
Okay,
go ahead.
because this has been changed too. On item 18, my first question to the county attorney is how much have we spent on outside attorneys pursuing this tax case against Raytheon?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Miller, I don't know altogether what Terry Roberts has billed. It's been she bills at a rate of $90 an hour, which is considerably less than our typical outside counsel rate of about $200 an hour. As to the total amount, the assessor might have a better idea than I do at this point. I do not have that figure with me.
Okay, I think the rest of my questions would be for the county assessor, so I will ask him.
Thank you, Mr. Staples.
My pleasure.
Supervisor Miller.
Do you have an idea of how much we have spent on outside attorneys pursuing this effort?
The one outside attorney, I'm going to guess at approximately $10,000.
$10,000. And then we've spent $50,000 for this Brecken Nava consultant?
I think that is a little bit high.
Okay, and you're requesting another $50,000 for the same consultant to bring it up to $100,000. That's what it says on the agenda, total.
Yes, that's what it says on the agenda, and those numbers are clearly the upper level. My best estimate would be that we have spent approximately $30,000, $35,000 to date, and that if we do end up going to trial for 11 and 12, that number would be significantly less than the 30 already.
Okay. Another question I have is, it is my understanding that these, the lawsuits is around your going after property that is located on the Air Force Base. Is that correct, or is that incorrect?
That would be incorrect. This is City of Tucson
Strictly
property located near the Tucson International Airport, and their improvements on possessory rights, it's land that's owned by the City of Tucson.
Okay. And then what did you say the estimated loss in tax revenue would be if the valuation is upheld? What would be the estimated loss in tax revenue if we drop this lawsuit?
I don't have that number in front of me for the tax years 2011 and 2012.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't have that number in front of me.
Do you know that from previous tax years? Or you said you prevailed?
I did run the number for their appeal for 2013. I don't have 11 and 12 in front of me, and I'm not sure what
was 13.
Yeah. 13, as my office noticed, and this is based on the 13 rates that the board has already established. For 2013, the tax bill would be approximately $1.2 million. Based on their appeal, if I'll say the state board just granted their appeal and my office did not file in court, they would be paying approximately $30,000. So the number would be approximately 1.1 million and some change.
All right, what's the will of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Elias.
I'll go ahead and move item number 18. I believe that Mr. Staples has a responsibility to protect the tax roll. And this is Bill doing his job, even though there are political differences on this board related to that. I think we have to honor his request, and he actually takes a separate oath of office every time he is elected. Every county assessor in the state of Arizona does, that they swear to protect the tax roll. And this is a case where it intersects with some of the politics of our community. Difficult situation, but I think we have to give the assessor the right to do his job.
Is there a second to the motion? That motion dies for lack of a second.
And this is a question for the county attorney. I agree with what Supervisor Elias has elucidated. The assessor is a row officer, an independent elected official, and he wishes to pursue it and certainly can under his budget. So would an appropriate motion, because I think this board, or at least the majority on this board, has some concern. Raytheon is a major employer. We are not, while we are not experts in valuation, I think some of us disagree with, respectfully disagree with the assessor's position on this issue. Is there some way to move this forward? The assessor is going to do it, but to get Pima, to get the Board of Supervisors removed from the appeal, then it's going to come out of the general fund, which is really his budget, so I see no problem there. But I would like to see if there's some way to remove the board from the contract piece.
Mr. Chairman?
I think.
Is it to the point, wait, is that to the point, to this point, Supervisor Miller? Or is it to a different point?
It's to this point.
Okay, I'm going to ask Supervisor Miller to respond, then I'm going to ask the council to reply.
Mr. Chairman, it was my understanding last year that it was originally the board that filed the lawsuit, and then it was not. Okay, then that is incorrect. That the board was never a party to this lawsuit? I was...
In name only.
Okay, so, and then the board was removed as a party to this lawsuit.
Correct.
Correct. Council.
Okay. To the extent that there's an appeal that has been filed with the board's name with respect to tax years 11 and 12, which this contract pertains to, if the board wishes to be withdrawn from that, it can instruct the assessor accordingly. And I think that's, if that has not already been done, you may want to just check with Bill on that.
Is it proper at this point to do that?
I
Because
don't know that we have it.
This is simply a contract.
Yeah, this is simply a contract. I don't think we have that noticed properly on the agenda to do that. If you want to do that separately, we could do that. As far as the funding source for this contract, you could, this contract is for the general, an allocation from the contingency fund. You are correct, this could come from the assessor's budgeted funds. And in fact, the first contract, the original part, was actually from his funds. So the motion might be to take it to approve, but only from his budgeted funds.
And I want to make the comment that I think for the last 8 years, the assessors actually returned monies to the general fund in an amount that is certainly sufficient to cover this contract. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the contract and have it come from the assessor's general fund allocation.
Second. All right, motion and a second to approve the contract, but to have the additional amount come from the assessor's budget. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay.
No.
By your vote of 3-2, motion